a survivor of the dinosaur age, evolved to live in the new climate and inhabit the dense jungles of the modern age.
To many researchers, these footprints are identical to those made by humans.
What if everything we've been taught about the history of our planet is wrong? A team of paleontologists was unearthing the fossilized remains of a towering dinosaur. But as they dug deeper, they stumbled upon fossilized dinosaur bones alongside human footprints.
Being consistently told in Western science that dinosaurs perished in a worldwide disaster around 64 million BC.
I know it sounds like something straight out of a science fiction story, but believe it or not, this is reality. These real-life discoveries are sparking debates about the timeline of human history and the coexistence of dinosaurs and humans. Are you curious to find out more? Let's dive in. Number 1. The Paluxy River. The Paluxy River tracks, found in Glen Rose, Texas, have sparked one of the most controversial debates between creationists and scientists. Creationists like Ken Ham and Carl Baugh have long claimed that certain tracks found in the riverbed are evidence that humans and dinosaurs once walked the earth together.
The footprints belong to two species that once roamed the terrain here.
They point to what they say are human-like footprints, nestled right alongside dinosaur tracks as proof. Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week. But could these really be human footprints, or is it something else entirely? From the scientific perspective, paleontologists see the tracks as belonging to dinosaurs from the Lower Cretaceous period. Several species have been identified from these tracks, including Sauroposeidon and Acrocanthosaurus. These massive creatures roamed the Earth millions of years ago, and the tracks they left behind fit perfectly with the time period. But what about those human footprints? Scientists argue that these footprints are inconsistent, often explained by erosion or partial prints that create shapes resembling human feet. So, are we just seeing what we want to see? Well, the human brain tends to find familiar patterns, like faces or feet, in random shapes. It's the same reason people thought they saw a face on Mars. Could it be that the human-like tracks are just a trick of the mind?
At least one large theropod following them, Archocanthosaurus, with a very large, very bird-like print.
On the other hand, some photos taken by creationists show what looks like human toes, and they claim that mainstream scientists are deliberately destroying or covering up evidence that challenges the widely accepted evolutionary model. But is there really any truth to this? Could it be possible that humans and dinosaurs did coexist? I know it's a pretty wild debate, but which side do you lean towards, or are you just as confused as I am? Number 2. Ancient footprints in Latoli, Tanzania. In 1976, a team of researchers made a fascinating discovery in Tanzania. They found footprints preserved in volcanic ash that are millions of years old.
You come across a set of footprints etched into the ground.
But why is this such a big deal? Because these footprints provided strong evidence that early humans walked on two legs, which is known as bipedalism. But among the animal tracks found at the site, some resemble those of large prehistoric creatures that roamed the earth long ago. Could it be that humans and such ancient animals, perhaps even dinosaurs, once walked side by side?
Humans. Paleoanthropologist Donald Johanson stated, "Make no mistake about it, they are like modern human footprints."
Experts like Amandus Kwekasson and Terry Harrison have since led further excavations, revealing more remains of early humans and animals, while piecing together what the environment looked like during that time. With Latoli now designated as a National Historic Site, this finding leaves us wondering, could humans and dinosaurs have shared the same ancient landscapes? Well, it seems possible. Number 3. The London Hammer Discovery. In 1936, Max Hahn and his wife were out walking near London, Texas, when they came across a piece of metal embedded in a rock. They took it home, not realizing they had just uncovered a mystery that would baffle archaeologists for decades. But it wasn't until 1947, when their son broke it open, that the real surprise was revealed. A hammer, complete with an iron head and wooden handle. So, what's the big deal with this hammer? The rock it was found in is believed to be about 400 million years old. That's right, 400 million years. Even more mysterious, the hammer's head showed barely any rust, and part of the handle had even turned into coal.
The London hammer was shown again in 2006 at a Ba talk. Because of this hammer, Ba and colleagues believed they had discovered evidence of a young Earth.
Coal formation normally takes a very long time, so this is quite odd. And even though the hammer is ancient, it didn't rust when it was first discovered. Strange, right? Well, the London hammer made its way through several museums before landing in the hands of Carl Bohr, a creationist who believed this was proof that humans lived millions of years ago right alongside extinct species like dinosaurs. Whether it's ancient or not, one thing's for sure: this hammer has kept people talking for decades. Number 4. Prehistoric Cave Art. A shepherd searching for his lost animal stumbles upon a cave covered in ancient art. But the art seems to show not just animals and humans, but also what looks like dinosaurs. According to paleontologist Abdullah, they initially thought the drawings were of modern animals, but after carbon dating, they discovered that these dinosaur images are actually much older than the other paintings in the cave. It looks like these early drawings might be from the very start of when the cave was used. But could these be some of the earliest drawings ever made? Could humans have lived alongside dinosaurs?
It wasn't until the non-avian dinosaurs went extinct that mammals grew in size, and eventually gave rise to the human lineage about 65 million years later.
Some people believe these paintings show dinosaurs being hunted by humans, which would mean humans might have had a role in their extinction. This theory is huge and could shake up what many historians and archaeologists have believed for years. But other experts think these paintings might just be misidentified as modern animals. Remember, during the dinosaur era, mammals were tiny, no bigger than house cats. It wasn't until dinosaurs were gone that mammals grew and eventually led to humans. Well, this theory is wild, right? But it's definitely shaking things up for many historians and scientists. Number 5. The Burdick Track. In July 2000, Alvis Delk, an amateur archaeologist from Texas, made an unusual discovery: an 11-inch human footprint intruded by a dinosaur track. So, how did the scientific community respond? When the Burdick Track was found, evolutionists quickly dismissed it, claiming it was a carved impression. No need for evidence, just the assumption that large mammals couldn't have lived with dinosaurs. But does this assumption hold up? To investigate, researchers cross-sectioned the track.
Or was it a legit track? And now, I do have this track. As far as I have a casting of this track. It's quite a large track.
To determine if it was carved or genuine. If the track were carved, the cuts would randomly disrupt the rock structures. However, if those structures aligned with the contours, the track was real. And guess what? The internal structures of the limestone conformed to both the heel and toe impressions, showing the Burdick Track wasn't carved but an original impression in limestone, known for dinosaur tracks. Honestly, that's pretty mind-blowing, don't you think? Number 6. Akamaro Figures. The Akamaro Figures are about 33,000 small clay figurines, allegedly discovered by Waldemar Julsrud in July 1944 in Acambaro, Mexico. Here's the twist. Some claim these figures resemble dinosaurs and use them as evidence that dinosaurs and humans might have coexisted. This idea is especially popular among young Earth creationists, who believe these figurines challenge scientific dating methods and support a literal interpretation of the Bible's creation story.
Including numerous lizards that are called dinosaurs or terrible lizards.
However, there's no solid proof that these figures are truly ancient. In fact, many experts seriously doubt whether these figurines are authentic artifacts at all, pointing to the lack of credible verification through modern archaeological techniques. Some have even suggested that the figures might have been a hoax, possibly created to attract attention or financial gain. So, do you believe the dinosaur claim, or does something seem off? Honestly, I'm doubting myself too. Number 7. The Cambodian Stegosaurus carving. The dinosaur of Taprom is a carving on a wall in the Taprom Temple in Cambodia. But why am I telling you about this so-called dinosaur? Well, Ta Prohm is home to many different animal carvings, but this one is special because some people believe it looks like a Stegosaurus, a type of dinosaur. The hype started in the late 1990s when folks noticed that the ridges on this animal's back seemed to resemble the plates of a Stegosaurus. But experts aren't so sure this carving is a dinosaur after all. The ridges might just be part of a decorative pattern, like what we see in other carvings at the temple.
They're just a decoration here. We've seen lots of similar decorations all over this wall.
And let's be honest, the creature in the carving doesn't match a Stegosaurus in other ways, like its head shape and missing tail spikes. Or, here's a thought, what if this is a glimpse into a time when humans and dinosaurs might have coexisted, and ancient artists tried to capture these majestic creatures in their art? Now, what do you think? Are we looking at an ancient representation of a dinosaur, or is it just another piece of artistic imagination? Number 8. The giant footprint in South Africa. In 1931, a farmer named Stoffel Coetzee found something that would become a local sensation, a giant footprint. So, what makes this footprint so fascinating? Well, for starters, it looks exactly like a footprint. It's not some carving or art, it's the real deal. Some folks claim the footprint belonged to a giant with 6 toes, but it might just be 5. What really catches the eye is how this footprint seems to have been made in soft material, just like stepping into wet mud. It pushes up around the toes, which is a clue that it's not a carving, but a genuine imprint.
Town called Amsterdam, close to the border of Swaziland in South Africa. And it is a giant footprint, also known as footprint of God by some people. And archaeologists estimate this to be between 2 and 3 billion years in age.
This footprint also holds a special place in local lore. It's been known to African shamans and knowledge keepers like Baba Credo Mutwa, who link it to ancient tales of man-eating giants or ogres that once roamed these lands. But if these giants existed, could they have walked the earth during the time of dinosaurs? The size of the footprint certainly suggests something beyond normal human proportions, almost like humans or giants coexisted with those prehistoric beasts. That idea sure makes you wonder, doesn't it? Number 9. Ophidian figurines. Ophidian figurines, ancient statuettes with reptile-like heads, were found in ancient cities like Uruk and Eridu. Ophidian means snake-like, which makes sense because of their snake-like heads and decorations that might resemble scales. These figurines have slim human bodies, some holding babies or staff. But what's really bizarre is their elongated, lizard-like heads, and their eyes shaped like coffee beans.
The figurines have clear similarities to ones found in central Mesopotamia, and these figurines are earlier.
Intriguingly, some researchers argue that these figures could be symbolic of ancient myths or even early attempts to describe encounters with unknown creatures. This theory adds a layer of complexity to the artifacts, suggesting they might not merely be artistic creations, but also hold deeper meanings related to ancient belief systems. The mystery surrounding these artifacts continues to spark debate among historians and archaeologists, adding layers to the enigma of ancient civilizations. Some people even think these could be proof of ancient aliens, dinosaurs, or other prehistoric creatures. Pretty weird, right? The question remains, are these figurines a clue to a lost civilization, or is there another explanation? Number 10. The Mokele-mbembe of Africa. Mokele-mbembe lives deep in the waters of the Congo River Basin. Some claim it's a real animal, while others believe it's more of a spirit. The descriptions, they vary a lot, but many say it looks like a huge plant eater with smooth skin, a long neck, and either one giant tooth or a horn, kind of like a dinosaur. Or maybe this creature is indeed a dinosaur, and we are living alongside such ancient giants.
But to prove the legends to be fact, would be a landmark in various fields of science.
Back in the early to mid-1900s, the Mokolembembe became a hot topic for cryptozoologists, those who hunt for hidden or mythical creatures, and young Earth creationists who believe the Earth is only a few thousand years old. You may ask why? Well, they were hoping to find evidence of the creature to challenge the theory of evolution. Paleontologist Donald Prothero even pointed out that creationists were especially determined to track down the Mokolembembe to discredit evolution. Interesting, right? But he also noted that it's mostly creationist ministers searching for it, not wildlife experts, and it definitely leaves room for thought. Number 11. The Trilobite Footprint Fossil. The Meister print, also known as the Meister footprint, is quite a story. It looks like two ancient trilobites were squished under what seems to be a human shoe print. Some folks, including creationists, thought this was proof that humans and trilobites roamed around together, which would seriously challenge the theory of evolution.
This is a brick mold of a trilobite footprint, of a human footprint with a trilobite in it.
Back in 1968, William Meister was on the hunt for trilobite fossils in Utah when he stumbled upon a rock slab that looked like it had a shoe print with a trilobite squished underneath it. So, what do you think? Was it just a bizarre rock formation? Or could it be a hidden truth from the past? This would not only revolutionize our understanding of prehistoric life, but could also suggest that our timeline of evolution needs a serious rethink. Don't you agree? Number 12. Oldest footprints in North America. In New Mexico, there used to be a massive lake in a dry, gypsum-covered area. Archaeologists started digging through layers of sediment built up over thousands of years, and guess what they found? Fossilized human footprints. Carbon dating of some ancient seeds found with these footprints showed they were from a time way earlier than we thought humans had arrived in North America.
Of ancient seeds found among the footprints suggested a time long before it was thought possible.
More tests confirmed that these footprints were made by children walking by an ancient lake nearly 10,000 years before we believed humans were in the area. So, what does this mean? For a long time, we thought people crossed from Asia to North America over a land bridge after the last Ice Age glaciers started to melt around 13,000 years ago. But these new footprints suggest that humans were here long before we thought and might have lived alongside giant animals like mastodons. Well, it's wild to think of kids splashing around by the lake while giant creatures roamed the land. What if this scene included not just mastodons, but even dinosaurs? Number 13. Eos Stones. The ICA stones are a huge pile of over 15,000 stones, all covered in carvings of dinosaurs, medical procedures, and even high-tech gadgets like telescopes. Sounds pretty wild, right? The stones come in all sizes and are made from a tough rock called andesite, which is not easy to carve.
Although Ushuaia would not reveal the location of the cave, he agreed to sell thousands of stones to Cabrera.
Some of the carvings are quite complex, but others look a lot like designs from cultures like the Inca. And then there are the dinosaur depictions. That's where things get really controversial. One of the most talked about stones shows a human riding a dinosaur. Or how about the one where a T-Rex seems to be grabbing a human? If these depictions are genuine, they suggest a world where humans and dinosaurs lived side by side. Is it just me? Or do these stones make you question everything you know about history? Number 14. Kachina Bridge, Utah Dinosaur. Some folks argue that dinosaurs and humans coexisted in the past 6,000 years and point to ancient artwork on Kachina Bridge in Utah as proof. They claim it shows a dinosaur, specifically an Apatosaurus-like sauropod. According to answers in Genesis, this petroglyph suggests that humans saw dinosaurs walking around after the flood. But is there really a dinosaur in the rock? Let's take a closer look. Have you ever looked at clouds and thought you saw shapes like animals? That's called pareidolia, seeing familiar patterns in random objects. It's wild how our brains can make us see dinosaurs where there are just rocks and mud. But the idea that humans and dinosaurs might have lived together remains an intriguing possibility, whether or not the Kachina Bridge petroglyph is part of that story. Number 15. Klerksdorp spheres. The Klerksdorp spheres, also known as the Eos Stones in America. These are the perfectly round spheres that were discovered next to a coal mine in South Africa, buried in sedimentary rocks. What's really wild about these spheres is how perfectly round they are.
Some spheres display shallow grooves or ridges, while others are perfectly spherical. These variations in shape and texture provide further clues about their formation.
Some people think these could be alien artifacts, while others argue they're man-made and shouldn't even be there. So, what's with these spheres? They're about 3 centimeters in diameter and have this incredibly smooth surface, almost like it's been polished or burned. But could these spheres be evidence of an advanced civilization that lived during the age of dinosaurs? It's hard not to wonder, were these spheres made by ancient humans, or is there an even deeper mystery behind them? Number 16. The Waffle Rock. In the heart of West Virginia, near Jennings-Randolph Lake, there's a rock called Waffle Rock. And yes, you guessed it, it's got weird, waffle-like patterns all over it. But what's the real story behind this strange formation? This isn't just any rock. It's covered in a grid of lines that look like they were carved by something or maybe someone.
There are many theories. Some believe it was a form of ancient Native American art. Others think it might be the fossilized skin of a prehistoric creature. And then, of course, there are those who see evidence of extraterrestrial activity.
Some people think it could have been made by an ancient civilization. Others say it might even be the fossilized skin of some long-lost prehistoric creature. And of course, there's always the theory that this rock has something to do with aliens. But geologists have a different take. What's their explanation? So, what do you think? Ancient civilization, alien visitors, or just Mother Nature doing her thing? I'll go with an ancient civilization from 300 million years ago. Number 17. The Lovelock Cave Giants. In 1911, 2 miners were digging inside a cave near Lovelock, Nevada, looking for bat guano to make fertilizer. But what they found was something no one expected: over 40 human skeletons, some of them unusually large. These skeletons, measuring between 7 and 8 feet tall, caused quite a buzz. And what made it even stranger, some of them had red hair, which didn't match the Native American tribes of the area.
The idea that giant bones were actually found in a cave in Nevada.
Unfortunately, most of these giant bones have been lost over time, but for decades, several of the skulls were displayed in a local museum until about 10 years ago, when they were removed and buried. And along with the skeletons, they found giant-sized artifacts, including sandals that were 15 inches long. Seriously, 15-inch sandals? That's like Bigfoot, but real. Number 18. The Thunderbird Pterodactyls. In 1890, locals in Tombstone claimed they saw a giant flying creature in the sky. They managed to kill it and even took a photograph. The local newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph, supposedly published this photo, but no one has ever found this photo, and the editions from that time didn't have pictures at all. But what about those weird photos popping up online, showing cowboys with a huge winged beast?
Bizarre pictures featuring cowboys and a massive winged creature have surfaced and can be seen on the internet.
This creature looks like a pterodactyl prehistoric with big leathery wings and a large head. Could this be the same creature from the Tombstone story? So, could the Tombstone flying creature be linked to the Thunderbird? Or is it possible that humans once lived alongside these massive, dinosaur-like creatures? If the pterodactyl-like beast was real, could it mean that humans and dinosaurs coexisted much longer than we ever imagined? The missing photo might just hold the key to revealing the truth. Number 19. Metal Screw. Russian scientists made a jaw-dropping discovery in 1998 while analyzing a meteorite in the Kaluga region. What did they find? A mysterious object that looked exactly like a modern-day screw encased in a rock estimated to be 300 to 320 million years old. That's right, this screw is from the same time when dinosaurs roamed the Earth. However, other experts remain skeptical. arguing that the screws could be geological formations. But this raises an intriguing question. If this screw is really that old, could it mean humans and dinosaurs lived together? Did an advanced civilization exist back then capable of creating tools like screws during the age of dinosaurs? It's hard to believe, but could this strange artifact be the final piece to solving this puzzle? Number 20. The Nazca Lines of Peru. Now, this is my last piece of evidence that will make you question whether there was a world where ancient people lived with dinosaurs. What if I told you there might be a link between ancient art and the creatures we now know only from fossils? The Nazca Lines are enormous drawings etched into the desert floor of southern Peru.
To identify and categorize these geoglyphs, we take a stylistic approach.
That were created between 500 BC and 500 AD. But how did they make these massive geoglyphs? It's simple yet astonishing. They scraped away the top layer of pebbles to reveal a different colored dirt underneath. To really appreciate these designs, you need to see them from the air, about 500 meters up. But don't worry, you can also catch a glimpse of nearby hills and high spots. The Nazca Lines feature a dazzling variety of designs. Hundreds are simple lines and geometric shapes, but more than 70 are detailed pictures of animals, like a hummingbird, spider, fish, condor, heron, monkey, lizard, dog, cat, and even a dinosaur. Who knows? Maybe the truth is even stranger than we can imagine. And that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get all our videos on time. Until next time.